Okay, we lit it just like a fuse, so no need to pick and choose. Welcome to 2020, where we do more than interviews. The hottest beat coming through, jumping knowledge on all of you. Get a peek at the front of you with the truth that they offer you. Yeah, hands up, we doing it for the culture. To give artists and businesses more exposure. Keeping it real and stay silent just like a boulder. It's about to go all the way down, can't get no lower. Chasing my dreams, know that they get no slower. But if I stay running, I promise they getting closer. Moreover, success my older. And if you're sleeping on me, I'm waking them up like Folgers. I told you, coming from the land with the tide roll. Well, we'll be on a whole different vibe though. We like to ride slow and keep our windows tinted so you really can see us like Stevie Wonder waking up with his eyes closed. Yeah, got the kind of flow that rock the boat. On my 16s of pounds of dough. And if you figure you can hang with me on the mic, then grab some rope. Matter of fact, better grab some hope. While you at it, we keep it live, it's time to tune in. Turn up the sound on what you're using. It goes so hard, I think it's bruising. The show is 2020, no need to zoom in. Yeah.
Hey, yo, what's up? It's your boy, Sirr of the 2020 Podcast, LLC. Please say the LLC. And today I have a special guest, somebody I'm a fan of. I caught her running in the park, was really shy. Then I slid in the DMs and it worked out for the better. Arielle of Astrology and Chill.
Yo.
Of 107.3, The Beat is in the building with your boy today. How are you doing?
Yo, like I'm vertical and ventilated. Life got its blessings and it got its messes. So it is what it should be, you know?
Hey, I feel that. Vertical and ventilated. I'm going to steal that if it's not copyrighted. Because I could say what the old folks used to say. Well, I'm on this side of the dirt, so I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on this side of the dirt and the dirt ain't on top of me. Shout out to the OG.
Man, look. I'm finna go get me a Fago after this.
Okay.
So, to those of you that don't know, I'm a huge fan of hers. I love her podcast, and I'm not just saying that shit because she's right in front of me,
right?
Virtually. But it's because I love when people have a personality and they have their own personal hobby, and they're still that same person. You are the same personality on the radio that you are on your podcast, and I think that's so dope.
You know what? It's funny. I've actually had this personality my whole life, and I fought actually having this personality because, you know, until some fine tuning was done, like most people either find me to be team too much or just flat out annoying. And that's what I heard a lot of my life. Like, you so annoying. Like, why you always be so extra? You always doing too much. But like, again, the fine tuning, I'm still going to always do too much, but at least it's real. I ain't taking it.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because I recently I posted on Facebook because I'm trying to get more into personal reflection. Right. And on your podcast, you mentioned stepping away from social media and having a time to kind of not be a brand so much.
Right.
You know, kind of just being away from other opinions. Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
And when I did that, I got time to reflect. And I was more conscious of my surroundings financially, spiritually, and just all the blessings I have because I'm one of those people that compare themselves to everything else out there I see.
But you know what? I don't think it's just you. I think that's something that we get ingrained in us as a kid. Because think about how many times like we're doing something like being a kid, doing some kid shit, and then our parents turn around and go, "Do you see anybody else acting like that? Why would you act like that?" Like we learn to compare ourselves and find acceptable behavior based on the people around us very early in this life. So if somebody's like, "I don't compare myself to other people," you're a lie. You say your lies for somebody else who has not sat and studied people. Like we do it. Maybe you don't do it as often as other people, but like we're all subjected to comparing ourselves to other people. And I feel like maybe it's slightly heightened because of social media. I refuse to be one of those, it's because of social media type people. I cannot give social media that much power. It just doesn't. So it's some of it, but some of it has just been how we have been socialized in this instant gratification world.
I feel that everything feels like a fast food type of industry, like everything.
You probably microwave and it's done.
Yeah, you know, and they want it done the way they want it done. Like as consumers, like the more I notice, and it's even myself, I'm guilty of it too. Yeah. There's been times where like stupid stuff. Let's say there's a show coming out on Netflix, and the season might come in 2 halves, and I'm gonna overindulge and finish the whole half, and I'm pissed off because
I
I'm
want
like,
the rest
damn,
of it.
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, where's the rest of my stuff?
Yeah, but you know what? But is that unrighteous though? Because why shouldn't you ask for what you want? Now, that also comes with you got to be able to be realistic about when I ask for what I want, and if it is not delivered, how do I then handle who I am emotionally once I do not get what I want? But I still ask for what I want. Like, why shouldn't I?
That's a good point. Is how you handle the no. I hear you. I hear you 100%.
How you handle the no? Look at God.
You know, I hear that.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
at the same time, I feel like no's are good. I feel
No's
like
are
you shouldn't be
incredible.
granted. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you
Yeah.
shouldn't be granted everything you're expected, because when you get everything that you receive, when you expect it, you take things for granted.
You do. You know what? Honestly, I was and I cannot remember where I read this. I was reading something about narcissistic behavior, and a lot of it stems from a child never being told no. Therefore, they have no ability to gauge rejection. And therefore, when they become like adults in this real true world where it's going to tell you no, yeah, it's not a thing. And now they have narcissistic behaviors.
That makes sense.
Narcissists aren't born, they're created. Yeah, that was the point of the study. And I was like, oh, that's different.
I could see that, because when you really think and feel you're the main character of not only your story, but everybody else's story, an inconvenience feels like an attack.
Period.
I can feel that. I can feel that. Don't have me philosophizing on here. Yeah, I made up a word, y'all.
This is what I do all day, every day. Like, I am such a just sit and create philosophies and theories all day long. Now, let me tell you something about that behavior. Sometimes I have a really good friend of mine who one day I was talking about something that I experienced, and she was like, I don't know if you realize this, but you think you feel your emotions and you more intellectualize them than feel them. And I'm like, So that's a blessing and a curse, because while I may be able to, figure out and pinpoint why I feel how I feel, I didn't actually feel it. I just intellectualized it. I'm good at that. And that's, again, not always a good thing.
Not good friends holding up the mirror and calling you out on your shit.
What?
Man.
Yo, listen. I am so cautious with the word friend, but I can legitimately say that woman has been my friend for 10 years. Okay, because she does not mind saying, and she like, I have friends that deliver it to me without it being that fun and flowery. I have a friend that can deliver it to me with it being fun and flowery. They both have a space in my life. They both have a place, and they both deliver truths when necessary.
You know what? And that's funny. Like, I prided myself on the thought that I was one of those people, just give it to me straight, no chaser.
Right.
Because I need it straight, because if you give it to me too sweet, I can sometimes miss the message, or might not think it's as intense of an issue that needs to be corrected because of how like you approach it. But if you just give it to me straight, like I tell people all the time to give this hypothetical. If I'm musty, say, hey bro, you musty.
Right.
I need that. Don't have me around here and be like, dang, do you need something? Are you sure? You good?
I tell this to my boss all the time, because there are moments where he tiptoes around me and I'm like, listen, I'm gonna give it to you just like this, okay? Do not tiptoe around me. If there is something that needs to be corrected, I am forever a student of this life, okay? Tell me what I need to learn to make this process better or easier, or even more and I can't think of the phrase that I'm trying to use right now, but making sure that business stays where business is. Do not sugarcoat, because I don't need a spoonful of sugar to make the medicine go down. That's just not how I operate. Just give it to me. I can take it.
Castor oil on game. Feel it. So I wanted to talk about your podcast a little bit.
Okay.
Now, with Astrology and Chill, you have a very interesting approach into how you handle it. You're not out here guessing people's futures.
No.
You're actually explaining the present.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very interesting take to have, because it's so many things that we want to know the future.
Yeah.
That we miss the key moments now. And
Exactly.
with the way you're able to explain emotions or what people are going through and backing it with science, I think is amazing. So
because at the end of the day, science is just emotions are facts too. And I know people like to believe that like feelings are just feelings, but feelings have facts attached to them. Your sadness has something that it can say to you. Your anger has something that it can say to you, because possibly somebody crossed a fucking boundary. And your anger was the trigger that said that was a boundary that was crossed, and that's not okay. So how do I communicate in the future? No. That's not okay. We're not going to do that. Right. Not to mention, like you were saying earlier, some people use astrology to tell the future. But here's the thing. There are so many factors that happen and change on a regular basis. It's like a drop in the butterfly effect. Something this small could make this big of a change, right? Drop in the ocean, lots of ripples, they go out, boom. So again, telling the future with human influence is crazy. Not to mention, just because Mercury is in retrograde, based on your natal chart, your birth chart, where all the planets were sitting when you were born, is going to look very different from you than an average perspective. And I think that's what sometimes people like don't catch with astrology, when they be like, oh no, it's not real. But that's because it is not personalized for you. It is on average, not personalized. And again, I don't want to tell you your future, because I don't want you looking at next week when you need to be looking at what's happening this week, right now, in this moment. You're going to miss what's going to happen if you're like already prepping for what's happening over there. I need you to prep for what's happening right here.
Man, facts.
Yeah. I also read tarot, which, by the way, not the devil's work. Okay.
It's not.
Again, I'm using it as a tool, just like you use your Bible. But you know what? That's going to throw some books off. That's going to get me in trouble. But I said what I said.
We talk that shit on this platform, dude. We talk our shit here.
I said what I said, and there is that. But just like you use your Bible as a tool of guidance, I use those cards as a tool of guidance. It is just a tool. It is a skeleton, but you got to flesh it out. You got to put the skin and the meat and the muscles and the tissue on those bones. It's up to you. I can give you an idea. I can give you a quick compass, but I cannot send you in that direction. That's on you.
Yo, that's word. That's word. I love that, because you said something, and I swear to God,
okay,
I almost like ran into somebody when you made this comparison that made so much fucking sense to me.
Yeah.
And forgive me, I'm about to paraphrase the fuck out of it.
Okay, bro.
You were discussing how things can appear to be permanent, and they not really are. You were saying a permanent marker on it says it's permanent. But how many times have you been able to go and wipe it off certain things? And bruh, when I tell you that resonated with me personally, because it's so many things about my past that I've done that I've held on to out of guilt. And I feel like that action is me. And now I can look at it and be like, no, I'm not that anymore. I've progressed. I'm no longer identifying as that, hurt person. I'm not complete now.
Yeah, no, but that makes perfect sense, because I have done that too. In fact, it was this year. I was this years old when I decided that I no longer wanted my identity to be the girl that's healing. Like, babe, when are you done with the whole healing journey and you're ready to live and thrive? Because something about healing is still in survival mode. When people are on their healing journeys, what's really happening is you're still in survival mode. When do you live? When do you thrive? When do you decide that? Because one thing about it, again, healing journey, we be talking about healing journeys like, babe, what's the destination? Because there is no finish line to healing.
It is not.
You get better at handling when your triggers and traumas show up, but they don't go away. You don't get rid of them, right? You just get better at handling them. Why is that your whole identity? Why is that your whole fucking brand? Why is every post And I'm still healing. Girl, you've been healing for far too long at this point. Now, your whole damn life, your whole existence, every second of the day is you healing, healing, healing. When do you get joy?
Do you think it's because guys do that shit too? I ain't gonna front.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna speak from personal experience.
Okay.
I was using the term healing to give an excuse to
Be
not
messy.
go out, to not have fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, using it as, oh, I'm not ready. I'm
Mm-hmm.
afraid to dip my toe into the world. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in all actuality, I was just afraid.
Yeah. I think everybody gets complacent with trauma. There, believe it or not, is a comfortable little space and place in trauma because
Mm.
you always have somebody that's like willing to hug you while you're sad, willing to make an excuse for why you ain't did some shit because you sad or because you're anxious or depressed or messy. And I'm not saying that those things aren't real. What I'm saying is, when does that stop being the damn North Star for you?
Yo,
When does that stop being your guide?